I'm Jabulani Leffall, and on today's Central Standard, we'll be on the bus.
It looks cool. You know, the bus looks like it's something out of, 2050 or something.
The new Troost Metro Area Express buses smell great. Brand new, like 2011. No stains on the seats. Yet.
Man, it's just riding the bus, man. You got crazy people, you got sane people.
Just makes me, overall more relaxed. I worked down off 75th for a while and was biking there, and when I started riding the bus, I was just like, oh my gosh, so much more calm, and, I was happier when I got to work.
I think it's just really fascinating to see it in one ride. One ride, the rise and the fall and the rise of Troost.
We'll get to know our fellow passengers and take a journey with them up and down Troost. The wheels on the bus go round and round on Central Standard after this hour's news. Good morning, Kansas City. It's a blustery day on Troost as we head to ride the new Metro Area Express bus and talk to some people and check out what they think and how this is going to change the character of the city. This is Central Standard. I'm Jabulani Leffall. And joining me now for this odyssey is Kemet Coleman, an urban studies major at UMKC and also a musical artist known as thePhantom.
Thanks for having me, Jabulani.
You ready?
Absolutely. Let's go.
We are heading to Kcur and Troost, just outside of the Kcur studios, where they have stops already set up with the time displays on when the Max will come. Now, Kemet, tell us about Troost.
I grew up on Troost. I was raised kind of like in 75th and Troost area. Troost has always been seen as kind of this dividing line between, the races here in Kansas City and more so about the poor and the rich. But, when I was growing up on Troost, I didn't know anything about that. It was just, me walking to school or walking to the arcade on the corner. I didn't know about that. All my friends lived here. I'm looking forward to seeing what, the Max can bring to it.
And what has been your experience riding the bus growing up?
Well, actually, my mom would not let me ride the bus when I was little. So it's kind of a thing that I've just picked back up, in my college days.
So when you first started riding, though, what did you find out about the city? What did you find out about yourself?
I always liked, public transit, mass transit in general, just because, you run into all different types of people, and people in the first place, when you're riding in a car, you in competition in a car. But when you're talking to people, you can actually, create relationships and different bonds and actually witness things that you wouldn't see in a car.
I'll ask you a question that we're going to ask riders today. What do you think the Max will bring to the city on Troost to have a second Metro Area Express line?
Well, the thing about, cities is, as far as the population goes, it's largely about, mobility between different destinations. If someone doesn't have a way to get around, then, the local economy will suffer. So it's always a good thing to see that, we're kind of expediting the process of getting people around the city.
So we've walked from the radio station to the intersection of Troost and Kcur. The route will be different than it will be in the future because the bridge is out. So we're going to have to go around Troost and come back around Troost probably on around 51st Street. So that's going to be interesting going. But we're headed to the stop now. There's bus stop shelters, and we're going to cross the street. We're catty corner to a Burger King and a Payday Loan Shop and a Walgreens, and there's the northbound Troost bus. It's turning. It says ready, set, go Troost along the side in big green letters. It's a very festive atmosphere, and it's about to pick up riders, but we're going to ride the other way first and come back. What do you think?
It looks cool. The bus looks like it's something out of, 2050 or something. It's really cool.
It really does look brand spanking new. We'll be getting on one of those pretty soon. Let's go across the street. So we're standing at the bus shelter right now, and it has a GPS system that tells you when the next bus is coming on a big pillar, along with the departure times and a map and so forth. And the southern end of it stops at the Bannister Metro Center, and the north end of it goes to Wyandotte and 11th Street in the City Hall, Financial District, and Court District area. So it's a wide swath of the city, and Troost is one of the busier thoroughfares in Kansas City. So
I think it's the busiest, actually.
Yeah, so there was really a reason to put this here.
Troost is actually, I think, one of the longest running streets in the city, and it's the busiest one. So.
In true fashion, there's a shopping cart here at the bus stop here on Cleaver and Troost. As we wait, the bus should be here in around 10 minutes, and we're just going to sit here and chop it up while we wait. I'm going to avoid this spit right here in front of the bus stop. But, this is gritty. This is gritty radio.
Oh, yeah.
This is gritty radio.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually adequate shelter. It's kind of windy out here. It does block the wind, so.
Let's talk about the character of the city. When you said that you were younger, you didn't really see it as a line of demarcation or a sort of demilitarized zone of racial politics, but it is right now. We're just blocks from the plaza and also blocks from some of the most violent places of the city. So what do you think? Is this bus line sort of a conduit for change, do you think?
I think so. I think it sends a clear signal to people on both sides that, we want to reinvest in this city. Troost used to be one of the most, wealthy thoroughfares. They used to call it Millionaire's Row back in the day. And so, there's a lot of good housing stock here. So I think it sends a really good signal to both sides.
So you think it'll bring economic development along with ridership and all of that stuff?
Yeah, I think it really does. Whenever there's a great, transit line on a major thoroughfare, economic development kind of gets a boost, because people can get to places faster. There's a reason to have a destination there. So I think so.
You're listening to Central Standard on 89.3 KCUR and streaming live to you on kcur.org. I'm Jabulani Leffall, and I'm sitting on a bus stop waiting on the Metro Area Express line, which starts service this week along Troost Avenue, and I'm at Troost in Cleaver with my man Kemet Coleman, an urban studies major at UMKC and a musical artist that goes by the name of thePhantom, and a bus rider.
Very much so. Having a good time.
Now, this is actually the local Troost bus, and we won't be getting on it because now there's a Metro Area Express bus.
Exactly.
So what have you heard about the local service, the 25 on Troost that we're hearing in the background right now?
Well, I mean, I've heard just about everything about, kind of about the rest of the bus line in the city. It's, kind of slow. It's dirty. It's, it's all those pleasant things. So hopefully the Troost Max will step it up a notch.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. But I also talked to a bus driver at one point that he said that the Max traffic would probably dilute the local bus service and make it even slower now.
Yeah, well, I hope that's not the case. I think, despite the nice-looking bus, I think people just want to get to places, faster than they have been.
Do you think it's like an upgrade?
Yeah, I think it's an upgrade. I think people will step out in the nice hats and gator boots on the new Troost Max.
Where do you usually take the bus?
I used to work on the plaza, and so I used to take it to PF Chang. Sometimes I'll take it to the library. I'll take it to school sometimes. I think actually UMKC was trying to have a program to where UMKC students could get free bus passes, especially when the Troost Max came along. So I hope that's the case.
So did you take the existing Max, the other Max, the Main Street Metro Area Express?
Yeah.
What was your experience on that?
It's a pretty good. I mean, it gets you where you need to go. It's a little faster, not that much faster. They want to call it a bus rapid transit system, but they don't. But real BRTs really don't stop as much, and they're a lot faster. But it's a little faster.
His Metro Area Express stops.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be riding today. We're still waiting.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But that's what it's all about. That's what the experience is all about, being out on the street, touching the street. Now, you're an urban studies major. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that and how that informs your view of the city.
Well, I actually stumbled across that major. I just have so many interests, I didn't even know what I wanted to major in. And so I just took this general ed class, and it was Urban Studies 101, and, it really changed my life. So I was like, I got to make this my major. And I've always been one that's been really interested in cities. I've traveled to almost every state because, my family drives a lot. And so, it really informs my music as well, just because I get to learn about all these different economic, transportation, different issues. It touches just about everything about a city, and that's what I love about it.
What are you learning about your city right now?
These gunshots we just heard. It's a pretty violent city, but it's something to behold because the jazz scene was really big here, and there's just a lot of different rich history just on Troost itself, and that's one of the reasons why I moved back to Troost, is because I first realized that Walt Disney had a studio down on I think it was 31st, and so I was like, wow, that's cool that Mickey Mouse was created right down the street from my old apartment.
So you hope to create that same sort of renaissance through your music and through your observations of the city and making a difference.
That's the underlying goal within my music, especially just because I want to see that this city can be proud of itself. There's kind of this anti-pride here that I think is kind of a curse, but there's also this overwhelming pride that if you talk bad about it, you're going to get slapped. So it's kind of this duality that's amazing.
Now, anti-pride, you talk about the duality. What is anti-pride?
Anti-pride is like not having confidence in, your city. It's like, oh, I got to get out of here in order to make it. I can't make it when I'm here or if I'm here. And so that's one of the things I've noticed a lot about here growing up.
But that duality, there's also a loyalty and
absolutely
pride without the anti.
Yeah, right. There's a vicious pride here, especially if somebody, like for instance, if somebody from outside of Kansas City says, hey, you're from Kansas? I didn't know that. They'd be like, oh, no, we're from Kansas City, Missouri. It's like, just little stuff like that. It's kind of vicious, especially if you talk about the Chiefs or the barbecue. Ooh, don't even mention barbecue from a different city.
So what does the Max line now do for the character of the city? We just heard the gunshots in the background. They might have been celebrating New Year's. You never know.
Yeah.
They might have been celebrating the arrival of the Max.
Exactly.
Pop, pop, pop. But what do you think? Do you think people would be hesitant to try this line out just because it still is the sort of hinterlands, the badlands of racial and economic divide?
Yeah. Oh, you mean people that you don't usually ride the bus on Troost? Right. I think people are definitely going to start off riding it for a while. I guess this is kind of like a test to see if things like this can work even further to the east. I think people will ride it out at first, and hopefully whenever they do, much more development will come.
So as a bus rider over the years, you spend a lot of time waiting for the bus here in Kansas City, and so it gives you a chance to kind of touch the streets and observe what's going on around you. And how does that inform your musical approach here as a Kansas City-based artist?
Well, I actually have a song called City Lights that kind of encapsulates that whole essence of what you're saying there. I was, just waiting for the bus one day, and then it was nighttime, and I saw these city lights that were just, looking down on the city and looking down at me, and they'd been here for years. And so I wanted to personify the lights and to see the different changes that happened during the city. So that's what inspired City Lights.
So while we wait, you talked about your song City Lights. Why don't we check that out right now?
Let's go.
Hey, yo, it's something about the city in the summertime. See all the kids with the smile as they run around. And all the cops try to stop us because they trying to clown. And we just want to have fun, nothing going down. And city lights cascading up the boulevard. They see the fights, mad shaking at the local bar. They saw the jobs once there, now it's kind of far. Now cats ride pedestrians, they ain't got a car. Because the city is organic, it is forever moving. But the city lights is fixed, overlooking the movement. Enabling the groove and no occasional snoozing. For panhandlers or your neighborhood boozman. No perpetrating nothing, so you better off cruising. Even in the hoopsie, they be keeping it moving. Keep the third eye watching, so you keeping it tight. But there ain't nothing like life whenever you wonder. City lights from the beginning and there to the end. Shine down, watch over the city. City lights. Show the joy and downfall of man. Shine down, watch over the city. City lights. From the beginning and there to the end. Shine down, watch over the city. City lights. Show the joy and downfall of man.
When you were a kid or coming up riding the bus, are there things you did while waiting on the bus, like, snapping on your friends, talking bad about your friends, bagging on your friends, or, playing with the shopping cart right here, for instance, dancing, busting rhymes, rapping, what do you do as you wait for a bus?
Well, I mean, you know, my neighborhood had a lot of young ladies, so so you know, we just be at the bus stop just hollering at ladies and whistling and doing what stupid kids do, and yeah, I mean, you know, we cause a lot of havoc.
You're an urban individual, but what do you think about the stigma or shame associated with, you know, waiting on a bus?
Yeah, there's definitely a stigma that's associated with, you know, waiting for the bus or just riding the bus in general. You know, Kansas City is definitely a car-centered country. I'm sorry, not country, but city. You know, actually, one of the first Ford plants was here, and so it kind of drives the economy. That also supports this whole idea that you need a car. But, you know, Kansas City, you know, lo and behold, used to have one of the top trolley systems, top trolley systems right behind New York and Chicago, until General Motors bought up the tracks. And so I think since then there's just been this push towards, you know, driving the car and spreading out, sprawl, you know, that we don't have any physical boundaries to stop us from doing so. And so I think, you know, since we need to kind of go back to our roots of that and inspire more density.
And do you think a good public transportation system beefs up the character of a city?
Oh, absolutely. You know, when tourists come to town, they want to see things that, touristy things, and people that want to go to a job can get there quicker. Go to the Burger King can get there quicker. I mean, it just anything to speed up the process of life will always create vitality. And here comes the bus.
Here comes the bus.
All right.
Troost Max to a third and Troost.
All right, putting my fare in here, getting my pass.
So this is not unlike the other Max line on Main Street. Same basic design, but these are hybrid buses, and they are brand new. Like, you can see the seats are smooth and the padding's still on them. It's not faded off yet. This is a brand new experience for Kansas City and for our riders.
Exactly. You know, it's very similar. You know, I think it's really cool that these are hybrid buses, kind of lower the carbon emissions here in Kansas City. These are actually a little more roomier than the one on Main Street.
It's a very cozy bus with the straps above to hang on if you're walking during a busy time. And the seats are smooth, little velvety feel, little tiger paw design here. It's all blue, and you know, the outside of the bus has a big yellow MAX for Metro Area Express, and it's very sleek. It's a hybrid bus. It's very sleek. It's a smooth ride.
Yeah, there's about 20, 30 people on the bus, which is actually kind of encouraging.
I'm Jabulani Leffall from Central Standard. Happy New Year. What's your name?
Happy New Year. My name's Trisha.
And where are you going?
7th Heaven.
And what's that?
It's actually my first time there. My roommate works there, but Josh could tell you.
It's on 76th and Troost.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got music there.
They got all sorts of fun stuff, yeah.
There's some incense, and there's a back room where they have adult things.
It's a novelty shop.
How does it feel to actually have a Metro Area Express line on a different street and have a different mode of transportation?
That's awesome. Like, next they need to work on the east-west lines. But yeah, this is a great big step because it was getting used all the time. Like, it was silly they didn't have a nice bus for all those people.
So how does this change your life, if at all? What would you tell our listeners who's never, ever taken a bus before and have misgivings?
I would tell them that it's not as scary as it seems at first.
Happy New Year, and thank you so much for... We're at 59th now, which means we got about 15 blocks to go. But on an express bus, that should be pretty quick. Now, this area looks pretty, like, desolate and underdeveloped. What used to be here, as we look at the Kansas City Power and Light building, the power station there on the left as we pass that, what used to be here?
You know, from my viewpoint, a lot of this has kind of been the same, you know, since my 23 years. I haven't really seen much change. You know, my mom used to get her car fixed there. That's always been a fish place. This used to be the
Checkers.
that used to be the Checkers there.
They took down Checkers and just put China Feast.
Yeah.
they still have like the Checkers infrastructure there, with, like the racing stripes and with China Feast, right?
Exactly.
That's gentrification for you, right there.
Right next to the landing, which was or is a somewhat of a mall. It's kind of a really dead mall now, but you know, I used to get my Jordans and stuff from there, from Harold Penner, that's in there, and you know, my brother spent a lot of time in there, you know, chasing honeys, but it's kind of a dead place now.
Like, how does it make you feel that type of culture is sort of dead now? The whole retail experience is dead. The whole walking the streets of the city is a little bit dead right now. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it kind of stinks, you know, but if we could find other reasons to walk the streets and shop other than, you know, waiting in line for a pair of Jordans, I think that'd be a little more beneficial to the neighborhood. But I think you know, we're seeing a turnaround in that type of thing.
You're listening to Central Standard on 89.3 Kcur and streaming live to you on kcur.org. I am Jabulani Leffall, and I am on Troost Avenue on the Metro Area Express bus as you hear the Scotchtown and Troost stop, the electronic system, PA system over the bus, shouting out that stop. Cemetery on the left. I'm here with Kemet Coleman, urban studies major at UMKC, and an artist that goes by the name of thePhantom, and he grew up on Troost, and we're about to go check out the neighborhood where you grew up as we approach 75th Street on the new Metro Area Express bus that just started this week.
Actually, we're crossing next to a cemetery that Tom Pendergast is actually buried in.
Tom Pendergast was the Democratic Party boss in the Prohibition era and all through the Depression and all through the early era of Kansas City's heyday as Paris of the Plains.
Right. Yeah, when everything flew and the bars and liquor never ended.
We're at 72nd, so this is our stop coming up. Was that a smooth and comfortable ride?
Yeah, that was real smooth. You know, I thought I was on an airplane or something.
Pull the stop requested joint. Get off. Thank you very much. We'll probably see you again on the way back.
All right.
All right. So we're off on 75th and Troost. Let's take a walk.
All right.
So tell me about this area, and this is where you grew up, where you came up. You just got off the Max, new beginnings.
Right. Well, we're actually right in front of the Epicurean, which is a old bar that actually my dad used to go to. And, yeah, I've never been inside. I think you have to be like 30 to get in. But, this nail shop has been here for a while. It might have changed owners a few times. But over there used to be a little arcade, actually, when I first lived here. Used to be an arcade, and then it turned into like a gas station. Then it turned into like a payday loan place, and then they tore it down, and now it's
actually the turnaround transit center, a major hub for the traffic on the Metro Area Express line that we talked about, and it has an art installation over there. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
We're waiting on the northbound bus now as we depart from 75th Street and Troost to points north, because we're taking a full tour of the new Metro Area Express. Go Troost, as it says on the display here, along with the schedule and the map. You want to talk?
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
So is this your first time on the Troost Metro Area Express bus?
This is the first time on it. I ever caught the Max. I didn't even know really they was doing the Max until I just seen it walking down here. I seen it going down the street, and I didn't even know they was doing it.
Well, this is new. You usually ride the 25.
No, I usually drive. I just had to ride today.
What made you come out here today if you usually drive?
I had some problems at home, man, just some family issues, so I'm just on the bus now. In fact, I'm going to go downtown because my ride ain't going to be able to be out there till like 5 o'clock, so I got to waste time on the bus, and I just, I'm going to hand out a few CDs, too, because I also rap. In fact, I got a free mixtape here if y'all want to check it out. Then I'm Sir Juan.
All right. Nice to meet you, man. I'm Jabulani Leffall from the show Central Standard. So what's riding the bus like? I mean, you in Kansas City.
Man, it's just riding the bus, man. You got crazy people, you got sane people, you got good people. I mean, it's a different. It's okay. I'm cool on the bus, because I mind myself. I make sure I don't bother nobody. But it's overall, it's a good experience, Yeah.
What is the craziest, weirdest thing that you've ever seen riding around Kansas City on the bus?
Man, well, I don't know how crazy it is, but one time we pulled over for a guy in a wheelchair to get on the bus. And, you know, when the bus pulled up, you know, he got out the wheelchair and pulled it on the wheelchair and strapped it down himself. And then he sat down in the stairs, started talking to people. And then when it was time to get off, he buzzed, got up out his chair, pushed it off, and then got back in and started wheeling himself. You know, he wasn't even using his legs at all, but he was wheeling himself like.
And what was everybody's reaction to that?
It was like a wasting time. Like, come on, man. You know, we wasting our time here, man. He faking, trying to. He wasn't asking for no change or nothing like that. But so I don't know if he was tired. He looked slim too. He wasn't a big fella or nothing like that. He was just. I don't know what he was doing. He had bags on him too. I was like, man. Yeah, that's probably the craziest thing I've seen on a bus.
Do you think with a new edition of a new Max line, especially on Troost, which is considered by many to be like the racial dividing line of the city, do you think that will change things or?
I don't know about changing things. I know it'll make the rides quicker.
And that's really the immediate concern, right?
Yeah, it's just making it quicker. I don't really know, because I don't step to that side too much. Right. So you know, it might help if everybody happy that the buses is moving fast.
Do you think you maybe meet some people from that side riding that line more likely to than?
Yeah, if we go faster, yeah, maybe.
You basically hustling your mixtapes as you ride the bus down, right?
Yeah, I might as well since I'm gonna be seeing a lot of people.
So what's this one called that you just gave me?
This is the Side Block Entertainment compilation. I'm Sir Juan. My business partner is Polo Styles. Then we have Transit, Mr. J, and Miss Mo. I have my single on here, KC Girls.
Yeah, let's take a listen to that right now.
All right.
Sir Juan, KC Girls.
You want a down chick, visit KC and Mo. I got one that's hella cute, shorty stay in Grandview, but ain't nothing like a KC girl. I got one that stay down, baby stay in Raytown, but ain't nothing like a KC girl. I got one with plenty money, shorty stay in Lee Summit, but ain't nothing like a KC girl. Now I'm showing nothing like a KC girl, man, and damn showing nothing like a KC girl.
That was KC Girls by Sir Juan off his mixtape. We met him on the Metro Area Express bus stop on 75th and Troost. And it just shows you who you can meet out in Kansas City in this new year. And thanks a lot, man.
All right, thank you.
We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, northbound as the bus approaches right now. So we're about to get back on it and go northbound. We'll go northbound when you come back. You're listening to Central Standard on 89.3 KCUR and streaming live on kcur.org. Let's not miss the bus. And welcome back to Central Standard. I'm your host, Jabulani Leffall, and I am on the Metro Area Express bus going northbound on Troost Avenue. And my guest is Kemet Coleman. He's an urban studies student at UMKC and also an artist.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm having a really fun time right now.
Now, as we ride down Troost, what do you know about this area right here? You actually live close to this area right here, the Midtown area.
Yeah, I live on Armour in Troost, which is basically 35th Street in Troost, and it's definitely not one of the stereotypically safe places to be, but, it has a lot of character. And actually, when I was saying earlier about Walt Disney, his studio was on 31st in Troost, and, that used to be kind of the area where Millionaires Row was, and they had, like 500 businesses in the 3 square block area at one point.
It's pre-gentrification, if you will.
I mean, yeah, right, yeah, pretty
pre-gentrification,
right, exactly. Post-apocalyptic. It's a great way to put it.
Now, do you think the new edition of the Metro Area Express bus will maybe shake that up a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. And truth is that you're actually starting to see a lot of that now. A lot of gentrification starts with a lot of artists coming in first and redoing different things. And then when that becomes like a hip part of town, the rich folks come in and push out the artists. So I think a lot of that's happening right now. We're actually passing old firehouse that was abandoned, and now an artist has taken it over and made it into an art gallery. Crossroads has become, kind of the area where a lot of wealthy people are going now because it's, property taxes are going up. So Troost is that next spot. In fact, Stretch, who's the owner of the Crossroads and Grinders, has moved his place to Troost.
Right now we're outside the Mannheim Park stop, where the horse stables are from the horse and carriages that are in the plaza, and you can see them coming down Cleaver and coming all the way in. And this is where they rest, right here on Troost.
Yeah.
So the horses can take the Max bus too if they get tired.
To.
Yeah, if they get tired of pulling the cart.
Right.
Now, what is the weirdest thing you've seen on the bus, Kemet?
There was one time where I was on the one on the Max on Main, actually, and this lady just stood up and just started screaming at the window. There was nobody outside. She just started screaming. And so people were like, shut up, shut up. So, like, she started screaming at the bus driver, and the bus driver was like, get off. So they kicked her off the bus. It was weird, man.
Now, this stop that we're at right now is 39th Street in Troost, and there's a Metro Center where you can go get bus passes, and where actually the bus drivers get off and use the bathroom in between routes and get back on, kind of a rest area, layover area between the traditional route on the 25, and I'm assuming with the Max as well.
Yeah. Actually, this location is where it used to be a convenience store here. My dad used to own part of it, and I think KCATA bought it out and actually built this place here.
The Metro Early Learning Center. The Metro is really sort of trying to develop along Troost.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of, bringing the neighborhood back into the forefront.
We're coming up on Armour and Troost, Hyde Park. Significance for you, Kemet Coleman, and also for me. I get my hair cut right up there at 67.
Yeah, that's where I get my hair cut, too.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
My apartment's there on the east side of Troost on Armour. It's called the Chalfont. Really old place, built in 1909. It's a really big space. Windows need work. I can hear the windows howling when the wind blows. But I really like it. You just don't get buildings aren't made like that anymore.
Now we're coming up on 31st and Troost. We're looking at a piece of public art right now that will expand based on a GPS system when the bus arrives. Right now it's contracted as a bird's wings would be tucked in, and the sun is right behind us, and the sun reflects through it, and it sort of fans out like a peacock.
I think it's a representation of the word Troost, which I think in German means tree. And so I think the artists kind of want to encapsulate that whole idea of Troost being like the tree with the roots going down and representing different people that represented the area of significance. So that's really cool, that something can be synchronized like that and be artful at the same time.
Hi, I'm just going to jump in here. This is Andrea. I'm the producer of Central Standard, and I wanted to take you off the bus and tell you about a conversation I had with the artist who created this work that Jabulani and our guest Kemet Coleman are talking about. His name is Matt Amers, and we met in front of his gorgeous tree bird-like installation and spoke about it before it was completed. Let's hear what happened.
We're standing at the corner of 31st and Troost at the southwest corner, looking at the sculpture on a late afternoon, November.
Well, let's go talk to some people and find out what they think of it.
Okay.
Have you done this before?
I was doing a little bit of listening yesterday to people commenting, from pretty positive to people who weren't as positive, just kind of relevant to how money is being used. I feel like I, in a sense, gave birth to a child, and I'm putting it out here in the community for people to hopefully want to have a relationship with it and not only look at it, but want to take care of it and, embrace it as part of their own.
That's how I feel about Central Standard.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Have you noticed this piece of art up here?
No, I never noticed it.
This tall tree-like thing right here?
This thing right here? No, I never noticed it until now.
It's like 12 feet high. How did you not notice it?
Because I barely ever come in this area. But, now that you didn't showed it to me, what does it represent? What is it? It's art.
Well, this is the artist right here. So, artist, what does it represent?
Oh, I don't... I'm hoping it represents a lot of different things to different people, but it kind of is based off the idea of a tree opening and closing. When the sun comes out in the morning, this thing will start to work, and actually when the bus comes up from going south, the bus will trigger it to open like you see it here, and then about a few minutes later it'll close back up, and then about every 10 minutes it'll open and close, all based on the signal sent from a bus coming southbound.
What was going through your mind and your head when you made this?
Oh, I just did a lot of research with the history of the area, dating back a couple hundred years ago up till present, and then talking to some of the community groups around here. So a lot of that, I wanted to do something that was also kind of interactive because the Metro commissioned the piece. So.
Oh, yeah, you aced that.
Yeah,
you aced that.
Well, why do you think he aced it?
I thought he aced it because just by him saying that he did history. So that's a person who cares about the community and history and was willing to contribute back to it from his very own experience in life and what he have studied about the history here. But, to me, I like it. And just meeting the artist itself, that means a lot. But, opening and closing is kind of like, could be anything to anybody. A flower, the city is going to bloom. Some days it's not going to bloom, you know what I mean? But as long as the sun's hitting it, which the sun to me represents, life, it's always going to be life here. So, yep.
Well, if you come back, you'll have to read some of the stuff that'll be on the ground. It'll definitely give you a key into what used to go on here. This used to be quite the intersection of the city. Other than downtown, this was the place to be. Walt Disney got his start half a block in this building on the backside. That's where he got inspired for Mickey Mouse.
For real?
That's actually, a local artist that muraled there, and that's an image of him standing there. At other times, there was the Porter Plantation, which, during slavery was basically fronted that side of Troost. And, one of these medallions honors the African Americans that, basically gave their lives, going forward into good times and bad times. So this corner has seen it all, and I want to try and recognize that.
Yeah. I like that. That was nice.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out next week. It'll hopefully be done if you're back around here. So
I'm gonna come back and look at it,
yeah.
So we can see. And you taught me something.
All right, let's get back on the bus with Jabulani and our guest, Kemet Coleman.
How does this whole journey inform you about the history of Kansas City?
Well, it's really interesting, right? Because there's so much history that if you didn't know about it, you would just walk right by and ride right by, literally. So I think it's just really fascinating to see it in one ride, one ride, the rise and the fall and the rise of Troost.
Do you mind talking? My name is Jabulani Leffall. I host a show called Central Standard on 89.3. Is this your first time on the Max bus, sir?
It is, yes. I think it's wonderful. It's a good ride. Oh, by the way, my name is John Hurt. I live here in Kansas City, reside here. I've been here for like 7 years, and I think this is a beautiful ride. It's made a lot of changes, It's get to my destination free. I work around the clock, so I'm busy all the time. So
you usually use the bus to get to and from work?
Right. Yes.
And so what does having a new Metro Area Express line do for your commute and your life?
I don't have to get up as early as I did to get to work. It gets me there about 5 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. So
where are you headed today?
Right now I'm going back here to Independence.
Oh, Independence?
Yeah, I'm going to Independence Street. Oh, Independence. I'm going to a cricket store. Got to pay a bill today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm off today. This is the only chance I get to pay bills.
So you even use the Max bus to run errands?
Oh yeah, yes.
Now, have you heard that Troost Avenue is sort of a racial dividing line or economic dividing line in the city of Kansas City?
That's in every state I've been in, but it's getting better. I put it like that. I don't see too much of a race issue now like it was before, like in the 50s or.
What do you learn about yourself and your surroundings when you're on a bus in the city versus when you're in a car by yourself, insulated?
Oh, the traffic-wise?
Yeah,
it's too many stops. too many headaches. You have to watch out for the other guy. Here you don't have to watch so much as the other person. You don't have to watch out for the other person, and you don't have to be pulling in and out of driveways hoping that someone let you out when it's heavy traffic. They do not let you out. Pretty convenient. It takes away the headache. You have less to think about.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy your ride. We're going to keep riding along as well.
Oh, okay. I win any prize or anything?
You win a prize? A new Max bus. What would a bus ride be without actually meeting the bus driver? Now, technically, from a safety standpoint, you're not supposed to talk to a driver. There's even a spoof on a popular show called In Living Color. Don't talk to the driver. We're going to stick the mic on the other side of the yellow line and see if we can talk to our bus driver who's been toting us around town today on the Metro Area Express along Troost.
Hi, my name is Sheila.
Is this your first time driving the Troost Max?
The Troost Max, yes.
The first day?
Yeah.
First day.
Mm-hmm.
How does the new bus handle?
I love the way it is. I love the way the interior is, how it drives. I love the seats. I love everything about the Max. So I think it's great. Yeah.
Now, I hear from bus drivers that the Max route is like the choice route, that you get Max route based on seniority. Is that true?
Yes, basically, it's all based upon that. Yeah. Sure.
So you like running the Max route?
No, I'm a board operator. I take over for those who don't come to work.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
So if they're not here, I do whatever route is open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what happened today?
Yeah.
And so what do you think about the route so far? Is it a pretty easy route, a pretty easy going route?
Yes, I think so. It's real nice. I like the way they did it. Yeah, the way they schedule it and the way the route goes. I thought it was going to be a lot more complicated, but it's not. So I'm pleased with it.
All right, well, let me step back behind this yellow line and let you drive so we can get to where we're going. My name is Jabulani Leffall. I'm the host of a radio show called Central Standard on 89.3 Kcur here in Kansas City. And I've been riding the Metro Area Express bus today, trying to talk to some people. Is this your first time on the Troost Max?
Yes, it is. I like it.
How does it differ from all of the other local lines? I see you got your groceries with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, I normally, the Troost Max bus is quicker and faster.
Way quicker and faster than the regular.
Because you don't have to worry about stopping at every stop.
Right. So how does the whole experience of coming to the grocery store on the bus, like, will this make that experience better and quicker and more convenient?
It's more convenient, more comfortable for me.
Mm-hmm. So where do you live along Troost?
Actually, I'm like one block east of Troost.
Off of
41st.
Off of 41st. Mm-hmm. And so you came down here?
Yeah, because I had to stop at Mad Jack's to go get some fresh fish.
Right. So you basically use this to run errands. Do you use the bus to get to work?
Actually, I ride the bus to go, get back and forth to school.
Okay.
I'm in school.
Okay.
So.
What are you studying in school now?
To be a medical biller, insurance coder.
Okay. So you enjoying your ride so far?
Oh, yeah. It's really nice and comfortable, smooth, and very comfortable seats. This is my oldest son.
Your oldest son. What's your name, oldest son?
Daryl Holmes.
Daryl Holmes. Full name, huh? All right, big man. How you enjoying your first ride with moms on the bus?
It's okay.
It's okay. she got you toting around groceries.
Well, he came because of the fact that he needed some lotion, so
right.
And so he know that he's gonna have to help carry some of the groceries. Yeah.
It's cold out here. Do you like to take the bus at all?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to walk.
Well, it does beat walking. It certainly does beat walking. That's for sure. Happy New Year, and thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Hillary.
And so, Hillary, what's the weirdest, wackiest thing you've ever seen on a bus?
Oh, on a bus?
On a Troost or on a bus, or on the Troost bus, for a matter of fact.
Probably, actually, I don't know. The wackiest thing I saw on a bus is actually some guy who was holding up all these drawings. Like, he was, like, very old, and he was, like, mouthing, but he wasn't talking, but he's, like, looking at me and my friend and holding up all these, like, drawings of, like, really weird, like, airplanes with all kinds of symbols and, like, code written on them, and he was trying to, like, sell them to us for $0.25 a piece.
$0.25?
Yeah. Like, big watercolor things, but with just pencil drawn on them. But it was just, like, and he said they were, like messages to God and stuff. I thought it was pretty funny. I think, you know, you get a lot of that, like, people who will try and, like, talk to you about, like, really nonsensical things.
Do you feel safe on the bus?
I don't know. There have always been times when I felt, like, a little bit, like, weird, like, something weird might happen, but nothing's ever happened to me on the bus, so for the most part, I trust it. Never been, like, let down by the bus or by the passengers.
And what do you feel about using the bus versus having a car? Is it like, you know?
I mean, I would like a car better, but I think the bus system is really good, and, like, you know, in light of not having a car, you know, it's been really helpful.
So what do you do on your commutes and when you're en route?
I watch videos on my iPod.
What were you going to watch now before we came and bothered you?
I was going to think about it. I just downloaded Squidbillies onto it, so I thought I'd watch that.
What's Squidbillies?
It's like a show on Adult Swim. It's like some show about a bunch of, like, hillbilly squids who do really weird things. Yeah, that's literally what it is. Or mud squids.
You see people from different walks of life on the bus. You know, colorful people in several ways. You know, diversity and the guy with the airplanes that you were talking about earlier. Why is it important to basically touch people and touch a city on the bus?
Well, because on the bus it's more of a forced social interaction. You know, you sit next to strangers and you're surrounded by strangers that you might feel more motivated to talk to than you would if you were on, like, a street just walking past people, you know? So I feel like it gives me a better sense of the personality of the city, and, like, you know, different people ride the buses depending on where I'm going, and so, you know, it's always interesting. It gives me an idea of, you know, the area where I'm at.
How do you think the Max line would change your life?
I think it'll get me to work a lot faster, and it'll make me feel a little easier about waking up in the morning, like, trying to catch the bus now that it's going to run in between all the Troost stops, you know?
Well, Happy New Year, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you. Good luck.
So we're on the bus headed back southbound now on our full day of bus riding, sampling the whole city via the Max bus, the Troost Max bus. Metro Area Express is the full saying of the Max is an acronym. Yeah. Really cool acronym, isn't it?
I think I really like the acronym. It's really creative.
We're doing it to the max with Kemet Coleman, a.k.a. thePhantom. Now, what do you do to entertain yourself while you're on the bus?
Well, you know, when I had my iPod before I lost it, I just listen to music and do stuff like that on there. But, you know, usually I'm always trying to stay connected. I'm in the business of reaching out to people, so I'm always on, you know, Facebook, Twitter, texting or stuff like that, trying to, you know, create awareness about thePhantom and that brand. You know, otherwise I'll just read a book. You know, that's one of the beauties of riding the bus. You can't do that in the car. I've tried, but it doesn't work out too good.
What should this Facebook update be right now?
It should be we're doing it to the max on the Troost Max on the Central Standard Show.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm actually just gonna text it to my to Facebook. I'm gonna text it right now.
Maybe we'll get a comment before we get back to the station. That's the beauty of the Express. You know, as you ride across the city, you realize that it's a beautiful city with wonderful architecture and a rich, if not dubious, history. Something that's still growing, something that is decaying and resurfacing, rebuilding, evolving before your very eyes, breathing before your very eyes. Like the city is alive; it's a living organism, and you see that on the bus, you know, in a way that you can't see that doing anything else.
Yeah, it's really an organic experience. You know, just the ride itself. You know, seeing the transitions between different areas. You know, if we went from kind of a residential area to kind of industrial area, then to like the financial district. And it's also fascinating just to, you know, internalize all of the different changes that have happened over the years, and you can still see the history, you know, through the physical space of the city, and you just can't get that anywhere else unless you're either walking or riding the Troost Max. That is.
Is it an interesting thing to you to essentially watch life go by in real time?
Yeah, you know, that's one of the beauties of it, and I'm having a great time just being able to sit back and take the whole route and see what KC has to offer.
We've definitely seen what KC has to offer demographically and historically just by riding this Troost Max bus. It's the first week of its inception. Thank you for joining me on the show today and on the bus today.
My pleasure, my fellow rider. Hopefully we can do it again.
You can find our archives, podcasts, blog, and more at kcur.org. Click on Central Standard, and don't forget to sign up for our newsletter so you'll always be in the know about what's going on the show. Join us tomorrow when we'll have the Johnson County Sheriff of Johnson County, Kansas on the show to talk about the new texting while driving law. Central Standard is produced by Andrus, Lindsay, and intern Ashley Ferguson. Special thanks to Kemet Coleman for being our ride-along partner. Up to Date is next. I'm Jabulani Leffall. This is Central Standard. Enjoy your day.